Shalom, everyone, and welcome to week 27 of Coffee and Connection. If anyone wants to come up on camera, it's always good to see you. Hello, and hello to you. Awesome, good to see you. So, I want to give a special shout out this week because this week is actually the yahrzeit of my grandmother one of who inspired me to create coffee and connection. And we were just had a family Zoom yesterday where we all got together from kind of two sides of the world and talked about her. And one of the things I shared was how profound of an effect sitting and having coffee with her had on my life, and how I try to take that effect into my life and create that same atmosphere with everyone that I love, including all of you, and just have this experience of really being with those that we're with. So, in her merit, uh, Sarah Blima, Bat Ephraim Fischel, Vicharna, I'm so excited to connect with all of you. And I invite you all this week to take time to really just sit and connect with someone that you love, maybe over coffee or tea or whatever it is you drink or eat. Yay! and and just connect, right? It can be with anything, anyone, or about anything. Maine, thank you so much. That her neshama should have an aliyah, and sometimes it's even with our little ones over there, like you can see, you can just just sitting and listening to them. I always when they're like babbling, I'm like, I'm showing them that I listen to them. I was trying to start when they're little, and up into our older children, our teens, our adult kids, really giving them that space and giving ourselves that time to really sit and connect. And that was really something that we all shared, meant so much to us about her and how she had that ability to sit and connect with each of us in our own way. And when you were with her, if you were sitting with her, if you were taking a walk with her, she really listened and she really understood who you were. And that takes effort, right? That takes consciousness, that takes empathy, that takes understanding. So, on that topic, I have another really important announcement to make, which is that next week Coffee and Connection is going to be a little different because it's going to be day one of With All Your Heart season 5. Woohoo! Who's excited with me? Interview series Bezrat Hashem will start next week. We're doing promotion this week. So excited. I'm actually going to go ahead and drop the link. You guys can go ahead and sign up. It's going to be amazing. The speakers this year, the experts are just so good. They're sharing such beautiful ideas, such wonderful tips, such great words of advice. And with that, we're also going to be doing extra, like even more. I'm going to be giving even more support, extra coaching. It's going to be awesome. I'm so excited. Here is the link. You guys can go in and be some of the first to sign up. This is the direct link. There is like the with all your heart series.com. This is the direct link. I'm excited to see all your names on that list. I'll know that, like, yes, you're all there. And go ahead and share it with your friends. You could share it as with allyourheartseries.com. Um, really excited to jump into that. And then we'll have coffee. It's like we'll have Coffee and Connection every night, every day for like, you know, for a month or whatever it is until we do it every day of the series. So I'm really excited about that. Okay, now that we did our little housekeeping, let's talk about, but you're wrong, right? What do you do when you see someone, especially your husband, acting in a way and you're just like, but this is wrong. Like you're doing it wrong, you're getting it wrong, you're saying it wrong. I can't believe you think that. I can't believe you said that. What's like, why you're being so stupid or whatever it is, right? The different thoughts that we can have. And I'm going to share a few different ideas that you can use to deal with that. And let's start with number one. Number one is that understanding that it's the reality that you and your husband are not the same, right? Like, shocker, right? We're not the same people. The crazy thing is that when we get married, we get this idealized view or expectation. I don't know what it is. If it's like some type of romanticized version of what a relationship is, or we picked it up through certain sources when we were young, whatever it is, we think that when you're in a relationship and when you're in a good relationship, what does that look like? The two of you agree on everything and you do everything the same and you think the same and you believe the same things. You always vote for the same party and parent your kids in the same way and wash the dishes the same way and agree to deal with money the same way. And everything is just super, easy because you just agree on everything. But then you get married and you think something's wrong with you or something's wrong with your husband or your relationship because it's not like that. I can't believe he thinks that. I can't believe he did that. I can't believe he spoke to our kids that way. I can't believe that's how he wants to deal with money. I can't believe that's how he wants to handle this family simcha. And what we think of is so wrong. The first thing I'm going to invite you to do is kind of try on the possibility that it's not wrong, it's just different, right? And different doesn't mean it's wrong. Different doesn't make it wrong. Now, it's often like a whole mind shift. It's a whole different headspace that we have to get into because we're so used to the way we do things as the right way to do it, right? That's what we believe, that's what we grew up seeing. So it's like barur, it's like of course any other way of doing it is wrong. Like, if it seems this is the right way to me, it must be that is the right way. And it's kind of this, it is a mind shift to realize that, well, it's the right thing for me because that's the way I see the world. That's my experiences. That's who I am. That's my personality. That's my values, what matters to me. But he may have, or he does have, let's let go of that limiting belief that it shouldn't be this way, right? It's like we think like lechatchila, like ideally we should all be exactly the same, right? Us and our husbands should be the same. Us and our friends, us and our families, everyone should believe the same thing. And then, but yeah, like now I have to deal with the fact that we're not exactly the same. What if we saw it as, no, that is the way it's meant to be? We're not the same. We're not equal in the term, in the sense of, identical. We're not the same. We don't think the same. And think of it like no two people think the same. It's crazy. Um, it's an amazing thing. And that can, in the rest of our lives, we can kind of realize like, yeah, I'm always different than everybody else. That's kind of that lonely man of faith kind of feeling. I remember once talking to my kids about, like, one of my daughters about this, how, like, everyone feels different. Everyone feels kind of lonely, that nobody else really totally gets them. And I was like, look at you and your sister. Like, you grew up in the same house. You're only, what are they, like, less than a year and a half apart, and you don't believe the same. And then I was like, oh my gosh, look at me and my twin sister. We grew up in the exact same house. We had almost the same friends for most of our lives. And like, are we the same? Okay, we have a lot of similarities, but we also think about things very differently because we're different. We process things differently. We have different personalities. We had different, even in our own similar experiences, we experienced it differently. And that's the reality of life, that two people are not the same, even if, or let's say, especially when we're married, because we're different genders, we have different backgrounds, we have different family experiences, and totally different upbringings, no matter how similar we are. So it's really important to first and foremost look at how we're thinking about differences. Are we thinking about differences as something wrong? Are we thinking about differences as like, you know, oh my gosh, this is crazy. I can't believe you think that. And what's wrong with you and what's wrong with us? We're hopeless because we believe differently about this. And instead, to first start to realize that like differences are normal, differences are actually healthy. And if you think about it, if you are if you're living in a reality where it seems like the two of you are always agreeing, then likely someone is not being truthful about how they feel and what they think. Because again, no two people think exactly the same. So if it seems like you always agree, you want to look at, am I being real about what I feel and what I want and what I think? Not that we always have to bring it up and fight and, well, I think this, well, you think that. But it's important to be aware of, well, what do I feel? And if he seems to always agree with you, is it safe for him to disagree? Right? Is it okay in your home to have different opinions, right? And that's why it's really good to first start with that first, mind shift of like, is different wrong, right? And in the reality of the world, like different is exactly the way it's supposed to be. So that's the first thing. Then we can, if we're like looking at our husbands and saying, okay, you're different and different isn't wrong, then we can start to step into love, respect, and empathy, right? My three cornerstones. Love, respect, and empathy. We can start to get curious because I love you and I accept you, and I know that you're not like me, but you have value for who you are. And I respect you. What you have to say matters. Who you are matters and is valuable. And empathy. So let me try to understand you, right? Instead of being like, and I know we've talked about empathy before. It's one of my favorite topics. So let's see how it applies here. Once, instead of looking at you as wrong, we can start to say, well, why might you have said that, right? And I know we've talked about that with like the crazy things that people could say, but in terms of even people's decisions, people's way of looking at the world, this comes up a lot. You find it, especially now, there's a lot of polarization in the world where there's a lot going on where people can have very different opinions, and rather than saying, oh, let me try to understand your opinion, there's kind of this like villainization that can happen. Like the other side must be wrong and bad, and what's wrong with you? And to the point that people don't feel like they can have conversations with people who believe something different than them. So that's why I keep getting this question over and over again like, well, how do I handle the fact that he wants to handle something differently, or that family members or friends, I can't have a conversation with them, or I'm scared to share my beliefs with them. So we want to, in that moment, let's try to get some understanding, and we can look to like, why do you believe that? And why would you say that? And why are you doing it in that way? Instead of rushing in with like, well, here's what I believe, right? Or, well, that must be wrong because I see things this way. And that really brings us to a really important point, which is that if we really want to try to understand someone without feeling threatened, or without feeling like, well, I can't just listen to you, I have to tell you exactly what I'm feeling. What is often missing in that space then is our own confidence in ourselves, our own love, respect, and empathy for who we are, right? When I know how I feel and I know how I'm going to handle this situation, I know what I'm going to do with the kids, or I know what I think is the right thing to eat, or the way to wash dishes, or the way to handle a stress, or who I'm going to vote for, or whatever. Me and my husband never know who we're voting for until like we get to the ballot box. And our kids are like, who are you voting for? And we're like, we don't know. So, but let's say you did know. Let's say you had confidence. Um, and you have that confidence, and then someone else believes something else. Well, when you know what you believe and you are confident in that and you respect what you believe, you know that who you are matters and what you believe matters, and you have understanding of yourself, then for someone else to say something differently or do something differently, rather than it threatening you, as you might think, right? If I'm so confident in what I believe, then I might be threatened by someone else believing something different. It's actually the opposite. The more I've respected myself and the more I understand myself and I value myself, the less I feel threatened by someone else believing something different, right? And whenever we're feeling really triggered by someone else believing something different, when it really bothers us, we can tune into like why. Sometimes it bothers us because it means that something we want is not going to happen. Or it means that there's like a fear that's going to come up for us. Like I'm worried about this person, or I'm worried about the outcome, or I'm I'm scared what's going to happen. So in that, or there's something I want that I'm not going to get if this person does X, Y, and Z, right? If he tells the kids that they can't have ice cream for dinner, they're going to be in a bad mood and it's going to be harder for me to put them to sleep, right? That's a reason why we might, or the opposite. If he gives them ice cream for dinner, then they'll be so hyper and I still won't be able to put them to sleep. So, either way, there's something that we're going to there's something that's coming up for us. So really, even if we're going to have a conversation with the person, it's important to phrase it not as, well, you shouldn't do that, you're wrong, I can't believe you would say that, but we can phrase it as, I'm concerned about X, right? I'm worried that this might affect me in that way, or I really want something. So it's all about me rather being all about you. um, and then, where was I going to go? There was something else I wanted to say. Right, we could get triggered because, so either we might be getting triggered because there's something we want or a fear that's coming up. So if there's a fear coming up, we can share our fear. We can also shift to desire, like we've talked about, right? I'm scared that the kids won't go to bed nice. So really, but if I get into that fear and I get upset, it's just going to put me in a stressed out mood, and then I'll be less likely to put the kids to bed calmly, or it's going to start a fight, and then the environment will be stressed, and then the kids won't go to bed nicely. So let me shift to my desire. What do I want? I want the kids to go to bed nicely. I want them to have a nutritious dinner. I want them to be happy. So, okay, can we, like, let's talk about this, because I understand you want to give the kids ice cream, and I want to make sure, I have to put them to bed, and then I have to come do coffee and connection. So, like, I need them to go to sleep on time, right? I'm just making this up. So, but it could totally happen. So, can we talk about how we're going to make that happen? And instead of it being, I can't believe you, you're such a horrible father, you're such a horrible husband, how could you not support me? It could be like, okay, how are we going to make this work? Right. And that could only happen if I'm willing to get in touch with what's really going on for me. Right. What am I really feeling right now? And then having a vulnerable discussion about it. And the other reason that we might get triggered about it is because we think that, like, we're not being real with ourselves about why it's really bothering us and what we're making it mean. So that's why it's really important in these situations when someone is different than us, and it's making us upset, or it's making us angry or frustrated, and we want to look at what's really going on, right? So if different isn't wrong, and I'm going to try to understand you, but I'm still bothered. There's something coming up for me. So, what is coming up for me? What is this really about? Is it a fear? So, how can I shift into a desire? Is it a desire? How can I communicate that um, vulnerably to my husband or whoever it is, right? Is it a feeling that, like, um, I just don't understand how you could possibly think that? Let me get curious why this is so upsetting to me that he believes that. What am I making that mean? Am I making it mean that he's a bad guy? Like, oh my gosh, I always thought that anyone who would vote for that person is like a bad guy. So, wait, but you're not a bad guy. So there's this like cognitive dissonance. Okay, so rather than saying, well, then I guess it means you're a bad guy, we could say, okay, so if you're not a bad guy, right? What does that mean? What can I then understand about, let me try to understand you and why you want to vote for that person, right? Like this could be for anything, right? Wait, you are smart. You're not just, it's not that you just don't care about me. So why would you load the dishwasher this way? Or why would you speak in that way? Or why would you have that belief, right? And we could get curious. We could get curious in our minds. We could get curious with them, always standing for their greatness because they're good guys. That's why we chose them, right? So, does anyone have any thoughts or follow up questions on that topic? I would definitely be happy to see, what comes up for you when I share that. Love to connect. Um, love seeing all the names on here. Woohoo! Hello, everyone. Welcome. Okay, so I guess everyone's good. I'm just gonna go ahead and drop the link for With All Your Heart one more time because I'm just so excited about it. Withallyourheartseries.com, season 5, starting on Sunday. First interview on Monday. Sign up, tell your friends, your family. It's gonna be amazing. I'm really so excited to do this again. It's really been so much fun speaking with all the experts. Will there also be an email? Yes, Bezrat Hashem. I'll be sending out an email hopefully tomorrow with allyourheartseries.com though. That's the easy link. This other one is just the redirect that I could find easily. I should have had it ready. With allyourheartseries.com. And I'm excited to see you all there. So we still will meet next week on Monday at 3 p.m. Eastern, but we'll also meet on Sunday and Tuesday and Wednesday and Thursday and every day except for Friday, Shabbos, and over Shavuos, Bezrat Hashem, for the next few weeks, starting on Sunday. Really, really excited. And I hope everyone has a great rest of the day. And don't forget to take some time to connect with someone over your favorite beverage for the Aliyah Neshama of my grandmother. And until next time, may we all be blessed to live, love, and be loved with all our hearts. Goodbye for now.